Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. It's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Moshe Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Moshe Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Moshe Zia has garnered great reviews and is even loved by Hollywood celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Order Missing by Mian Moshe Zia, now available at Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give a shout out to official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Moshe Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mian Moshe Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mian Moshe Zia has garnered great reviews and is loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mian Moshe Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. heard worldwide on Geo 7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, also on Anchor FM as well as PayPal. And don't forget to check out the cool merchandise at amazon.com/the Mike Wagner Show. And for more books and great gift ideas, go to amazon.com/me and Zia and check it out today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who is an assistant professor at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County and Language, Literacy, and Cultural Doctoral Program, and also a former basketball player and music teacher and more, and also served as education policy fellow during the Obama administration, and also earned his doctorate before 30 years old, and he's has got a program called the Done Dissertation Coaching Program. He's also got a book called The 14 Secrets to Done Dissertation, a guide for navigating the dissertation process and finishing in record time. So this guy's accomplished before 30 and just makes me just look pretty slow. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Baltimore, the very multi-talented doctor before 30 years old today, Dr. Ramon Goings. Dr. Ramon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Mike, for the invitation. I love to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you on as well, too. And, of course, having a doctorate before 30 is just amazing. You have a book that's called 14 Secrets to a Done Dissertation, a guide for navigating the dissertation process and finishing in record time. You're assistant professor at Baltimore County in Language, Literacy, and also the Cultural Doctoral Program, and you served as Education Policy Fellow during the Obama administration, and of course, you're also a former basketball player and music teacher and a lot more. And before we get into all that, tell us how you first got started, Dr. Ramon.
I guess it's kind of hard. So I guess from the professor side, this was not something I chose for a career. It was just kind of something that chose me. When I went to college, I thought I wanted to be Quincy Jones, the music producer, and so I did music education as a backup plan and got into a classroom and just fell in love with kids and kind of saw the impact I could have in the classroom. That really took my whole trajectory a different place. So the music industry, I started focusing on education, becoming a better teacher. And that's where I started doing education and becoming very interested in how do I make the biggest impact. And I found that professors was one way to make the biggest impact.
Mm-hmm. And of course, too, that you also got into music, too. So how did you first get involved with music?
Yeah, I was about 5 or 6 years old. My grandmother had a piano in the house, and sometimes what I would do is put the radio up on the top of the piano, and I would listen to songs, and I would just one finger at a time kind of pluck the notes, and then next thing I could do 2, then 3. Then I figured out my left hand got involved in there, and then I started to figure out, I can actually put music together and have it make sense. And so, it started out just from like listening to music and playing, and then I got the kind of more formal training as I went through school later on.
Wow, that's interesting. And also, who are some of your favorite singers and musicians in the jazz world and everything else growing up?
Yeah, so my favorite definitely is Quincy Jones. I'm a music producer, and I like R&B music. So for me, it's these folks named Brian Michael Cox, Rodney Jerkins, Pharrell. Those are the main 3 that like really inspirations for the stuff that I was doing. Timberland. And then on the artist side, I love people who can sing really well. So I like Jasmine Sullivan, like Lauryn Hill. There's various artists that really have informed the work that I do as a musician. There's so many. Chick Corea, it's just folks that have just been different pockets of music, and being someone who's trained classically but done all the other types of music. All those influences have made an impact on me.
Mm-hmm. And how big of a Miles Davis fan are you, since we're on the jazz side?
I'm a huge Miles Davis fan. I didn't get to play a lot of him in college. I wish I would have done more of that, but just appreciating now, I guess I have a different ear for music than I did maybe when I was younger. So just the genius that he was, just amazing to kind of hear that work and what he was doing at the time.
What were your thoughts on his classic Bitches Brew?
Bitches Brew. I'm trying to remember that.
That was Miles Davis.
Yeah, no, I know that. I'm trying to think of what the sound, like the sound. That's all I'm trying to. It's hard for me to kind of distinguish between the albums right now. Yeah, so I can't think. I got a number of songs brewing in my head right now at this moment.
That makes perfect sense. And of course, transitioning from music over to education, and maybe a little story on that as well, too, a little further. And when you do your Done Dissertation coaching program and teaching students, and do you let a bit of that music theory and what you learned also play into what you do as well?
Yes, because I believe that there's a process to everything. And then as a musician, when you learn in theory, there's steps and procedures when you're trying to compose music. You have a key that you have certain rules and restrictions. And so I think part of that is teaching my students going through the doctoral process, there are certain rules, and there's sometimes rules that are unwritten that you have to follow to get through the process. So I think that directly transferred from music over to when I'm supporting students getting through the process.
Mm-hmm. And plus, now that you're involved in music, you're also a former basketball player as well, too, and a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm from the state of Connecticut originally. Stamford, Connecticut is where I was raised. And so I was one of the top basketball players in the state. And coming out, I wanted to play basketball and I wanted to major in music. And going to Lynchburg College, now University of Lynchburg, was a place that allowed me to do both. And so I got to play basketball and kind of live out my dream. You know, I know I wasn't going to go to the NBA, but I just wanted to play on the college level. I thought that was my way kind of out. And so I was very much, I love basketball. It's kind of like my first love along with music.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we'll talk about your teaching as well, too, along with your dissertation program, along with your latest book as well, 14 Secrets to a Done Dissertation, and a couple others. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mosensia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosensia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Heard worldwide on Geo 7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today, and support the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and also on Anchor FM and PayPal. And for cool merchandise ideas, go to amazon.com/the Mike Wagner Show. And for great books and more, go to amazon.com/Mia Mosensia and order today. We're here with Dr. Ramon Goings, the author of 14 Secrets to a Done Dissertation, a guide for navigating the dissertation process on the Mike Wagner Show, and also an assistant professor at University of Maryland, Baltimore County in language, literacy, and cultural doctoral program. He's also did it at, before 30 years old. So I'm just amazed by how he's got that done. And I guess just talking about, get involved in the doctoral program. So what made you get started, getting a doctorate program and, getting it done before 30? It's amazing.
Yeah, so I was a teacher. I started out as a music education teacher, and I found that a lot of the Black boys that looked like me were getting pushed into special education. And I transitioned. I said, I'm just a music teacher. And if you know anything about schools, oftentimes those who are creative arts teachers oftentimes get placed as almost like a second-class citizen in schools. It's kind of like you're extra to what the real curriculum is. And so with that, I knew I had to do something different to make a bigger impact. So I got dual certified in special education and moved to this as a special education teacher. And from there, I just want to say, what was the way that I could have the most impact? And I thought in my mind, I'll become the school principal. And in my mind, I thought, someone who's a school principal gets a doctorate. And so, that was my initial thought why I enrolled in a doctoral program, not knowing that doctoral program really is partly to use research to inform practice. So I became a researcher through that process, not knowing when I was going to the program to do that. But I started out young. I was 20. I started my doctoral program at 25.
Wow.
So I definitely was one of the younger students. But it was great to be in that environment with folks who were more veterans in education. I learned a lot from them, and I'm sure they learned a lot from me as well in the process.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you want to take on a big challenge as well, too, that you've been a professor for quite some time as well. And also you started, I know some background, the Done Dissertation Coaching Program. And maybe tell us a bit about that, along with, tying in with you being a professor.
Yeah, so when I was a doctoral student, I went to Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland, in the Urban Educational Leadership Program. And in that program, by the time I was getting ready to graduate, I started publishing. So I became a published author during that process, writing journal articles and research. And a lot of my professors were saying, can you help some of the newer students become better writers. And so I started coaching them as writers as a doctoral student. And then it just grew. I started Done Dissertation at that point. I just didn't have the name or anything classified with it yet, but I started supporting students because I found they didn't just need edits. They needed people to coach them through the process. And that tie with being a professor, I started out training school leaders. So those who are going to be going to the schools to become principals at Loyola University, Maryland. And then from there, I become very interested in how do we get folks to get their doctoral degrees. It's only like about 50% complete the doctoral process when they start. So it's really a low percentage. And because it's hard to get through the dissertation, because otherwise everyone would have a doctorate. It's a very small percentage of the population that has one. And so, that really became interesting. Like, how do I get more people through the process? And then learning from my own journey, I created a system, and now I teach students my system, and they get through the process.
Mm-hmm. And also explain the Done Dissertation coaching program as well, and how do they get involved?
Yeah, so this is programs for the doctoral student who's grown frustrated with the dissertation process. Imagine the process is students go through coursework, and then they get to the end, and the dissertation is almost like I would say a mini book in a way. Usually it's about 100 to 200 pages document. And so a lot of people get frustrated trying to write the document and then navigating the people. So you have a committee who essentially says, you know what, Mike, your research is worthy. We'll approve you to move forward. And some people get stuck. And so my goal in the Done Dissertation coaching program is to help people get unstuck. Wherever they are, we take them, we give them the strategies and skills to get through the process and build relationships with the committee that, approves them to go on forward and help them become more effective writers.
Mm-hmm. And how long does it take a dissertation generally? Do they give you like a certain deadline or so, or is it still the model of take as long as you need to?
Well, now programs are putting these regulations where, if you start a program, from the first time you take your first class, you may have 10 years to complete the entire program. Some are 7 years, some are 8 years, depends on your university. Typically, though, when they get to the dissertation process, on the short side, you might be looking at 10 months, 9 to 10 months to complete. On the long side, it takes people years. I mean, it's not unheard of to have someone who's been at this 5-6 years trying to get through the process.
Mm-hmm. And what exactly does a dissertation involve, and especially in a lengthy process?
Yeah, so it involves, one, you have to be a consumer of research. So you have to know all the literature and research that's published on your topic. So let's say, for instance, you were studying folks who have radio shows and that was like your area of expertise. You would have to know the literature on everyone else before you who has really talked about that topic. And then your goal with the dissertation is not just to know that knowledge, but then to create a study where you can learn something new and add to that body of knowledge. And I think that's the part that trips people up. People get pretty good at consuming research and understanding what's been done, but then the fact that you have to be the creator of knowledge is something that's tough.
Okay, so basically, in other words, like say if I were to do a dissertation, like say in broadcasting, I just take up all the research that everyone has been involved, going all the way back to the 1900s when it first started, 1910, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, all across the board, up until like say Rush Limbaugh, Larry King, or, even go further back in the day like Marconi, just take in every piece of information, you disseminate. But then what I would do is like I simply just come up with something just brand new. If that's how I put it in a nutshell.
Yeah. It might be something like, for instance, in your field, you might say, what are the characteristics of radio personalities that succeed, who maybe are in radio over 10 years, right? You say that might be longevity. And you come up with a study that looks at the characteristics. It can be gender, race, ethnicity, all these characteristics. And you can do an analysis of that. And then you generate new knowledge, like saying that these particular people with certain characteristics are the ones who stay in media or radio the longest. And you say, well, how do we change that? And then that's where your job as a researcher, you come up with new ideas. Maybe it's a type of program that you create to bring assistants with you along the way to give them a platform to get their radio career started. So it's, a lot of those things can be done just from doing one idea.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like everything's put in a nutshell. It can apply to just about, any topic possible, like say, even with astronomy, physics, or mechanics, or say mathematics, or zoology.
There's PhDs in all disciplines. They're everywhere. If you look at a college, the best place to go is look at a college website, and you'll see it in any department of mathematics, department of computer science, engineering, math, music. Doesn't matter what it is. You'll see folks with PhDs that have gone through that process to create research.
Mm-hmm. And of course, speaking of research as well, too, you also served as an education policy fellow during the Obama administration. That's a really high honor for you. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so as a doctoral student in many programs, you have to take an internship. And so during my program, I initially applied to U.S. Department of Education for internship, and they forwarded my application to the White House Initiative on Educational Excellence for African Americans. It had just started in 2012, and I was brought on in 2013 to work in the office. It was a great experience. It was something that I didn't know going in that I was going to be doing, but it was definitely life-changing just to see what happens to education policy up front and center versus just hearing about it on the news.
And so what inspired you to become a fellow during the Obama administration?
I was just inspired to make a change. And I know that one way you can make a change in I don't care what field you're in, is through policy. And so I wanted to know more about the policy process and how do things actually happen on Capitol Hill. And so this was an opportunity to be right in DC, to be in the midst of all this while it's happening. And in particular within a historic administration, I mean, who wouldn't want to be a part of that?
Mm-hmm. And of course, comparing the Obama administration to the current administration, do you think the education is getting better, average, or is it going up or down? Or how do you think it would be? Or do you think things have really changed ever since you served?
Yeah, so I definitely think things have changed. I think COVID has just brought on new challenges. I mean, schools, depending on where you live, are still not open. And then some are trying to figure out, should we open now or should we open later? So it's a lot of controversy, and just folks are trying to make informed decisions for kids and adults. So I think this time it's hard to say if education has improved. We'll see kind of next year or two what's going to happen and what are the ramifications of COVID and its impact on education.
Do you think getting a doctorate, it would be a lot easier, especially being at home during the pandemic?
Yeah, I find that for my students at my university, they find that they're able to take more classes because they don't have to travel. So it's just a matter of, clicking a button and joining Zoom or joining WebEx, versus I got to drive to campus, need to find parking. I have to make sure my classes line up. It was a lot of things happening and folks with kids trying to navigate that. So I definitely think now it's been a lot easier for doctoral students to take classes and feel more comfortable in the doc program.
Mm-hmm. And how does one get involved with the Done Dissertation coaching program? Where do they go?
Yeah, so they can check us out at www.thedonedissertation.com and look into our services, and they can schedule a time to chat with us. And if folks are very interested in learning more, they also can text me personally. You text me at 301-701-2466. I can give you information and we can chat about what you need and kind of where you are in the process.
That is so amazing. We're here with Dr. Ramon Goings of the 14 Secrets of Done Dissertation. We'll talk about the book in just a minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. And brought to you by our official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mosensia of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with Dr. Ramon Goings with his book, 14 Secrets to Done Dissertation, after this timeout.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshazia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshazia.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple, and more. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, where The Mike Wagner Show interviews great guests, cool conversation, lots of laughs, coffee, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today.
Hey, this is Ray Powers. And if there's one thing you can count on in these unpredictable times, it's that you're in good hands getting some great radio, courtesy of The Mike Wagner Show.
We're back with author Dr. Ramon Goings on The Mike Wagner Show with 14 Secrets to Done Dissertation, and also the he's also with the Done Dissertation Coaching Program, assistant professor at University of Maryland, Baltimore County in language, literacy, and Cultural Doctoral Program. He got his doctorate before 30 years old. It's amazing. And you have a book that's out called right now, The 14 Secrets to Done Dissertation, a guide for navigating the dissertation process. And tell us more about the book.
Yeah, so the book is part of my goal. I want to support 1,000 students to earn their doctoral degree through my business. And so one way I thought to reach more people was to write a book about my coaching philosophy. I found that there are certain strategies and tricks that if doctoral students use, they can get through the process. And so this book is a simple, sweet, short way to package all of these tricks that I've learned over time coaching students through the process that people can read and implement tomorrow. And so this book is definitely for the student who feels unstuck, who's suffering from procrastination and perfectionism, and wants to figure out a new way to get this thing done.
How about some of the other tricks that people can learn from the book?
Yeah, so people can learn, one, how to set up writing routines. So part of the issue with the dissertation process, like I mentioned, the writing process is so long, writing a 100-page document, people get anxious when they say, oh my God, 100 pages. But imagine if you wrote a page a day, little in a week, they say 6 or 7 pages you wrote every day. In a month, you might have 28 pages done, and that's a chapter for a dissertation. So I think the process, if broken down into small pieces, can be very manageable. And that's what I help students do through through the book and my coaching program more broadly.
And what are some of the other common problems that students encounter, and what are some of the positive things that come out of as well too that students can overcome?
Yeah, I think the number one challenge that doctoral students face is time. So time, I believe, and you can understand this, you're in a business, like time is our most valuable asset. We don't have enough of it. And so I think part of this in the book, I talk about time and how can students reclaim their time. And part of this is, book is geared towards a busy professional. So I recommend that students actually get selfish with their time. And that means to have a conversation with family, friends, just to tell them like, hey, I need time temporarily so I can finish this process, so I can do all the things we want to do later. And so I think time is a big barrier. And I provide strategies in terms of how to have that conversation with friends and family to reclaim your time.
And of course, that sounds like, just broken down into simpler terms, which is amazing as well, too. And you also have some other books as well, too, that you can also recommend to students and others.
Yeah, sure. I've done a number of books around how scholars can get through and become professors. So I have a book called Race Mentoring, Journey for Scholars of Color. And the book talks about it has different narratives of different faculty members and doctoral students about how they've gotten through institutions of higher education and what are the challenges they've experienced and how they overcome those challenges. I have a number of other books, one about Obama administration, another book, so many of them, one about school and school-university partnerships. So people are interested in doing work for universities that are in K-12 schools. This book is for them. So I've done a number of books. I enjoy the writing process and thinking process.
That's interesting, too. We talked a bit about the Obama administration, and I was going to ask you, what's it like working with President Obama?
The funny thing is that people always ask me that question. I'm like, I never got a chance to meet him while I was working in office. So it's just interesting. Like, when things are happening, I was either sent somewhere else doing another project or, never passed, never crossed. But I will say it was just my boss, David Johns, at the time, was one of the most rewarding experiences. He gave me hands-on practical application of how do you move a country in a particular way on a policy issue around supporting African-American students.
And of course, another question too, before we, talk a little bit about the book or put a wrap to it. If you were named the head of education, like in the White House, you have the, I'm trying to think of the name you had, the
Secretary of Education.
Yeah, Secretary of Education, Dr. Duncan, or you had, I can't think of the, who is it? Nancy DeVos under the Trump administration.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And if you were a name to that, how would you reform the whole education process?
I think one of the most pressing issues right now for education is the student loan debt crisis. And so one is addressing that. I think we want to boost our economy. If we give folks debt relief from student loans, I think that's one way to increase our economy. And then that infiltrates other areas of life. So that would be one area would be my focus. And then another area would just be supporting schools who are trying to have a in-person instruction right now with COVID and vaccines not being readily available to everyone as of yet. I think those are the two key issues in how we can change education right now. There's some other things around removing standardized testing, I think is a way to do that as well, because we spend a lot of time preparing students for that. And at the end of the day, what does it mean for them when they finish school? So those are my three issues right there.
And how about homeschooling as well, too? What are your thoughts on that?
I think homeschooling is a great option for folks if you have the ability and the resources to do that, because not everyone can do that when they have to work. potentially for our essential employees, like that may not be an option. But I think it's a great tool if you have it. And I think what also is helpful is communities get together and create these pods where now the homeschooling is more of a community effort versus just being the responsibility of just one sole, family member for all their children. I think that's a great approach.
Mm-hmm. And that's a very good approach too. And once again, where can we find your book, The 14 Secrets to Done Dissertation, Guide for Navigating the Dissertation Process, and your other books at? Where can we find them?
Yeah, sure. You can buy 14 Secrets to a Done Dissertation on my website, www.thedonedissertation.com. And although the 14 Secrets, as well as my other 4 books, are available on Amazon.com as well. If you just search my name as an author, you'll find all the books.
That is fantastic. We're here with author Dr. Ramon Goings. Also, it's assistant professor at University of Maryland, Baltimore County, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just a few more minutes as well, too. We'd love to have back on and hear some great stories as well. And what can you expect from you in 2021 and beyond, Dr. Ramon?
One, I'm just growing the Done Dissertation brand and program. I want to, again, my goal is to support 1,000 doctoral students. So just getting this out to more people is one of my main goals, as well as supporting my doctoral students that I currently teach at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and getting them actively involved in research. Because my belief is that if we get more researchers who can go out and do meaningful work, we can improve what's happening in our society. And so that's definitely my goals for the next year. And then also just connecting with great people like yourself, like doing more media, kind of getting my face out there a lot more than I've done in the past. Because I enjoyed this conversation with you.
Oh, it's amazing as well, too. Got to do it with a little bit of jazz, a little bit of coffee, whatever. And maybe I can do just a micro dissertation, maybe just for one day or so.
Yeah, the fact that you have such a broad range of knowledge, on the idea about music, Miles Davis's work on that particular album from the 70s, like it's just like I'm just thinking like you have great insights that I think we all want to hear about more, definitely.
Something too, and another time as well too, we can expound more on that, like with sports, Baltimore, and everything. It's like anything you can go, and if you give us an update, we'd like to have you back. And just a couple of things, Dr. Ramon, who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Oh, that's so. Trying to think. There's so many folks. I've had a lot of great mentors that have been my professors. So the ones I'm thinking of are Dr. Kemet Shockley, he's a professor at Howard University. Dr. Julius Davis, he's at Bowie State University. Dr. Margarita Bianco, she's at University of Colorado, Denver. Dr. Donna Ford, she's an expert in gifted education out of Ohio State University. Those that have been some key folks that really supported my development as a student. Dr. Warren Heyman, who was my advisor at Morgan State University. I never would have finished my program if it wasn't for Dr. Warren Heyman. So he's definitely one of those key influencers.
That is so amazing that you have worked under great people. What's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I think the best advice is that if you have an idea, stick through it and persevere. I think a lot of times we start things and then it becomes too hard and then we just throw it down and pick up the next thing. But it's like push through the process. And I think this applies. I teach people about dissertation, but what I find is that they actually learn more about themselves through life, through this process, about that they can do anything. If you can get through this process, you can do anything in life.
That is so amazing. Once again, we're with author Dr. Ramon Goings, also assistant professor at University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Also talk about his book, The 14 Secrets to Done Dissertation, a guide for navigating dissertation process, and also the Done Dissertation coaching program here on the Mike Wagner Show. Dr. Ramon, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Learned a lot from you and looking forward to having you again soon. Just keep us up to date. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact you, where can people purchase your books and check out your program?
Yeah, so if folks are interested in the book, they can check out my website, www.thedonedissertation.com. If you're interested in getting doctoral support as a student, feel free to text me personally, 301-701-2466. And then if you're interested in more other books, you can check them out on Amazon.com. Just search my name. And then last, if you want to follow us on social media, on all platforms, we're at Done Dis Coach, DonDissCoach.
Done Dis Coach. Remember that. And what's the text number again in case anybody's texting right now?
Yeah, it'll be 301-701-2466.
All right, we will certainly do that. Once again, Dr. Ramon, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely great. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And don't forget to keep in touch. A little bit of micro dissertation. You've been absolutely fantastic.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you.
Hey, everybody. My name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.